it's a build up from last year's. The last time I interacted with you guys was in 2022. Then we spoke about this in passing, and I'm sure some of your students hopefully managed to adopt these innovative approaches of developing evidence-based literature reviews. And what I essentially want to talk about today is how can we find, analyze, synthesize literature information to produce a state-of-the-art review that's publishable and that informs policy and brings out about the gaps in your study. So without further ado, allow me to just get you through my presentation. I'll introduce myself. Professor has already introduced me, but I'll just also pass through that slide. I want to take you through the purpose of this presentation, learning outcomes, different kind of reviews, and also we want to have closing remarks, and I have a class exercise that I want us to do together on search methods, and just to check if students were listening. All right, so it's nothing big, but it's very important depending on the scenario that I present that we generate search strategies, and search strategies are very important when you're doing these evidence-based literature reviews. They guide you to the right literature that you screen, synthesize, and then put together as a review. As the professor alluded, I'm with the International Water Management Institute. Prior to that, the last time we spoke, I was lecturing at the University of the Free State, doing the same thing, teaching literature reviews, teaching irrigation management, irrigation development, and agricultural water management. Right now, I'm predominantly in the outreach sector, think tank plus outreach, and we are working with extensively with smallholder farmers. And also, I haven't lost my research edge. I'm still working with the University of KwaZulu-Natal and the University of Free State, supervising students in areas of agricultural water management. So these are the links if you decide to Google me and check some of the materials that I've produced, some of the scientific and academic materials that I've produced. So at the end of the day, I hope we all take home with us some knowledge or some capacity to generate an evidence-based literature review. And most importantly, you need to understand what it means to have an evidence-based literature review. This is all based on experiential learning. I taught myself when I was doing my MSc and PhD some time back, MSc more specifically, how to do this. And a lot of this that I'm going to share with you today, it's experiential learning. Throughout the course of my studies, postgrad studies, I've learned what works, what doesn't work, and what is the most straightforward way of doing and carrying out a evidence-based literature review. How do I find my literature? How do I screen my literature? How do I analyze? And how do I synthesize to produce a compact literature review? So this is basically what I hope to achieve with you today or share with you, and hopefully you guys can take it forward, improve on my methods, improve on my ways. Knowledge is always dynamic, and especially this evidence-based literature review approach, it's ever dynamic. The protocols are always changing. So what I'm talking about right now, let me say, if you could see this circle in my hand, what I'll discuss with you today is within the confines of this circle. All right. So this is not the end. This is not the beginning, right? There is more out there. And as students, I'm going to challenge you to expand more and improve on this. So hopefully afterwards, when I'm in my contact details, I'll share this slide deck. They are available. We can always continue networking, talking, and working together. And the most important key highlights I want you to take home with you, knowing the different type of reviews and their applicability in relation to your study, research study. You need to frame research questions. You need to learn how to extract data. You need to learn how to find that data. You need to learn how to clean that data and synthesize based on a Prisma standard. So what does Prisma mean? I'm sure a lot of you might know it's just the preferred reporting items for systematic and meta-analysis protocols. So there is a standard that we need to adhere to, and I'm going to help you go through that standard. And at the end of the day, you need to be able to tick each and every box on that Prisma checklist. Then you can submit your literature review for further reading, for publication, and as part of your PhD chapter or an MSc chapter. So just to take you through the background, and please, if I'm going too fast, do say so that I can slow down. Prisma statements were generated from medicinal sciences. That's where they came from. And of late, the approach has just expanded to other sciences. In our case, agricultural sciences. And there has been an evolution of these protocols. They started off in 2015 by Moha et al. And then Page et al. They sought to keep improving that. So this just ties back to what I mentioned, that what I speak of right now, it's within the confines of what I know in this circle. And I challenge you, students, to further expand that. Identify what works, what doesn't work, based on your research question and your study objectives. So this is basically the International Journal of Surgery. They provide an updated guideline on reporting items. This is just a 2020 statement. There is actually a 2022 statement, an updated statement. But this is really, take it with a pinch of salt, really. You have to also understand the context with which they update these statements. These guys are into medicine, we are into agriculture. So some of the materials that they talk about doesn't necessarily apply to us. So it's very important to frame and understand context. And as you build on your knowledge on generating these reviews, if you find or figure out that some of these updated statements, maybe there's a 2023 statement, I haven't heard of it, but 2022, most definitely. If you find out that some of these things resonate with your study, it's very important to include those items to enhance your study. So why do we carry out evidence-based reviews? Most importantly, we need to understand that when we do a literature review, you basically want to highlight missing gaps, opportunities to expand your study by basically identifying what is there, what hasn't been done, and what do you need to answer, all right? But you can only get to this when you thoroughly scope through literature or glean through literature. It's a really cumbersome process. Most of the times, postgrad students do complain about writing literature reviews. Fair enough, they should be difficult because there's the rate at which we are generating knowledge these days. It's overwhelmingly, it's so overwhelming, and the acceleration or the accelerated rate at which new information comes out, it's overwhelming. So it places the burden on you as a student to actually now try to figure out, where do I start? How can I start? And what works? What wastes my time? What constitutes as important information that I can read through to generate my review or extract data to synthesize my review, versus what can I classify as rubbish? So that's the importance, and that's why you need to carry out an evidence-based review, which means whatever you synthesize at the end of the day, it's based on solid evidence, solid evidence that builds onto the protocol that you followed in finding the literature, gleaning through and cleaning and screening that literature and extracting important pieces from the literature that remains and synthesizing it into a little nice golden thread, little nice story. Then you have an evidence-based review. You actually have evidence to show us that you did this to come up with that. And the evidence is all in the methodology. We need to understand your methodology. So traditional literature reviews never used to have a methodology section. Our new literature reviews, they should contain a methodology section. That's your evidence. Why a methodology? From your experimental chapters, you know that a methodology is universal, it's standardized. If I were to follow through each and every step that you outline in your methodology, I should obtain the same results. So this applies to literature reviews. If I follow through every step that you aligned, this is what I did, this is how I searched, I used this search criteria, I searched in this database, it could be Scopus or Web of Science, and I found these X amount of documents. Out of this X amount of documents, Y amount of documents didn't qualify for my review, Z amount of documents qualified for my review, and I extracted ABC amount of data and I synthesized it to produce this review. If I give it to someone in Namibia, someone in South Africa, someone in Zimbabwe, someone in Central Europe, someone in Southeast Asia, they follow through that protocol, they need to more or less come up with the same kind of synthesis that you produce. Hence, evidence-based. You actually have steps that detail how you got there, which is your evidence. And this allows thoroughness in study, thoroughness in identifying gaps, and you are quite certain as you carry on with designing your PhD or MSc study objectives that you are technically and precisely addressing to the identified gaps. All right. So let's talk about the different types of reviews. They term them typologies, and these reviews were my slide is stuck. Okay, there you go. So these reviews, if you read a book by Grant and Booth, it's a paper. It documents the different type of reviews, and these different type of reviews were essentially built from the SALSA framework. So this is the predecessor to the Prisma. Prisma is improved. From 2009 up until 2015, people have been using the SALSA framework, and SALSA essentially means you search, you appraise, analyze, and synthesize. And again, because knowledge is so dynamic, information improved, it upgraded. Now we have Prisma statements, but not to undermine what these fine researchers did. Grant and Booth, it set a precedence, it set the tone on how we carry out evidence-based literature reviews. So in their study, they detailed approximately 14 types of reviews, and it's important that you understand what kind of review speaks to you and to your study, right? For example, you have a meta-analysis, which basically involves extracting data from other studies. So a meta-analysis is a study of other studies. You extract that data, you subject it to statistical analysis, then you report. You report on numbers, on your numerical analysis and effects. What is the effect of this on that? And out of that, you do correlations, you connect to your study. So I highlighted the meta-analysis because most of the times I always encourage my students. I supervise engineering students, agricultural engineering students, irrigation engineering students. So much of the stuff we do is numbers related. And I always encourage that let's look at the research question from a meta-analysis point of view. So it's quite exhaustive. Not to say other reviews are not exhaustive, but it's very exhaustive in terms of numbers, and it gives you deductions based on numerical analysis. And it gives you a footing when you move towards achieving other research objectives or answering your research objectives. You are looking at the back of your mind, you've just registered that we have certain effects, and this effect size affects this kind of variable to this degree. So when you formulate your research questions and when you execute your and implement methodologies to answer your research objectives, you have that kind of idea. So reviews, apart from answering gaps, they are pretty much a guide to what to expect in your study. All right. Point in case, as I've just explained with the meta-analysis. Another type of reviews, I just highlighted some that are very important to us. We have rapid reviews right at the top there. And this one is basically, you want to assess, quickly assess, like the name implies, it's a rapid review. You want to quickly assess a synthesis of knowledge or a policy document, and you try to attempt, or you attempt to inform an evidence-based decision real quick. That's the rapid review. Then you have your scoping reviews, which is basically you map the evidence of key concepts in fields that are newly developed or broadly researched, or whether you don't have enough data to make an effective synthesis. Then you have a systematic review, right? Because I spoke about this, the scoping. If you move one step further from the scoping, you are deep down the systematic review rabbit hole. And in this way, apart from quantifying and characterizing and trying to map evidence, you're actually deep diving to the mapped evidence. And when you deep dive into the mapped evidence, what are you finding? What are the common practices? What still remains unknown? What are the recommendations for future research? So all of this you need to decide before you deep dive into performing an evidence-based literature review. What is my research question? What do I seek to answer? All right. What are my study objectives? Okay, that comes later after identifying gaps, but what is the broad overall global aim of your study? Out of that, you have to pinpoint exactly on the type of review that you want to carry out. There's also a quick exercise, some questions that I have for you at the end of the day. Should you go the systematic way or the scoping review way? Do you want to go the rapid review way? There's some pointers that I'll share with you on make your decision making quite easy. So let's just deep dive into the key steps involved in generating an evidence-based review. A well-written review has a methodology section, like I mentioned, and the key components of that methodology, there's the eligibility criteria, search strategy, inclusion and exclusion criteria, and you do a strength of evidence check on the body of literature that remains after the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Let's go through each step in detail. Eligibility criteria, number one. If I can ask the room, are we all familiar with this? I'm sure some of you, we did a study, a quick lecture on this in 2022. So if I can ask the room, are we familiar with this? Have we come across such kind of information? Floor is open for your answers. Yes, no?
No.
No. That's just one no
No.
in a room filled with people.
No.
So what I normally do
No.
when I do these
No.
online classes, I normally ask students to turn on their videos, just so I know I'm not talking to a GPT right now. Am I talking to people or I'm talking to GPTs?
To people.
Full people, full people.
Videos are disturbing.
Oh,
It's all right. It's okay.
Videos are disturbing. Doc.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
we are even sharing screens, Tinashe. That's the amount of attention you're getting. Two people
Okay.
on one screen.
Awesome. No GPTs. So there's a question from Simon. Please ask. I see a hand raised. Simon, you had your hand up. You have a question? Okay, we can save it for later. So if you talk about the eligibility criteria, you basically assessing if a paper, a publication, could be a journal manuscript or a book chapter or a conference proceeding or some grey literature of sorts, reports from NGO entities, if it meets a certain requirement to be included in your literature review. So it's basically a quality check of sorts. So how do you define an eligibility criteria? We have two approaches, right? You have the SPIDER and the PICO approach. These, the expanded statement for SPIDER for each acronym, it's simple, phenomenon of interest, design, evaluation, and research type framework, or you can use the PICO or the PICOS, which is population, patient, problem, intervention used, comparison, and outcomes. So what do these two or three, the PICOS has a sample in it. What do they help you? They help you enhance the search process. So they improve eligibility and prevent bias. All right, let's deep dive onto that. So this is a paper by Metley et al. They did a comparison, but this one was more on a clinical study. Like I said, some of these methodologies are borrowed methodologies from medicinal sciences. So this was a clinical study on the number of manuscripts or articles that you generate if you design a search strategy based on these frameworks. And I repeat, a number of articles that you retrieve from a database if you search using all these three different search frameworks. Okay, let's look at a more practical example. So you have let's just jump into the non-health example since we are agricultural scientists and other kind of scientists. I'm sure there's no one from the medicinal sciences. So
Tinashe,
you have, yes.
Dr. Dirwai, we actually
Yes.
have got a diverse pool of students from different disciplines.
Okay.
The invitation was sent to the whole university. So you could actually have from med lab sciences students that are also
perfect.
sitting in. I'm not sure, but it's quite possible.
Okay, it's awesome. Wow, perfect.
Right.
So if we look at this health example and non-health example, I think it's worth sharing that we do that. What did I do here? Okay, great. So if you look at a health example, it's a clinical problem, and we wanted to identify such statements that we can use or apply in a database. For example, you have someone who works in an aged care facility where UTIs, urinary tract infections, are a common problem. And this person had that cranberry juice can help prevent these UTIs. He's wondering, is there any evidence for that and whether it might help our patients? So if you break down this statement to fit if you recall, we spoke about I'm going to go to the previous slide, the PICO, PICOS, and the SPIDER, right? You can define or design research questions and search statements using the PICO, PICOS, or the SPIDER. This person decided to use the PICO. P, population, I, intervention, C, comparison, or the outcome. If you break that question in the PICO framework, you get your P, which is your population, your target group, which is the patients in aged care homes. What is the intervention? What is the comparison? What is the outcome? So you can frame this. you can actually have your research question, your global aim, talk about, I have this problem. I think, is there any evidence? Let me break it down into the PICO framework. Another example, if you break it down into a non-health example, someone who does a library induction class for new students, and they think if you play music during class, this would improve the students' retention of information and enhance their library experience. Again, if you break this statement into a PICO statement according to the PICO framework, you actually have your target patients population, which is P, first year students, intervention, playing music, comparison. It could be no intervention, status quo. But if you choose to be experimental with your study, the comparison is, especially for this statement or even the statement above, the comparison is playing music versus not playing music. Outcome, increased retention of information and improved, enhanced library experiences. So why is this important? We'll get down to it. Breaking down your global research statement, your research aim into individual chunks of statements based on the PICO, PICOS, or SPIDER frameworks. We'll get down to that, why that's important. If you use the SPIDER again, but the SPIDER tool for those doing social sciences, it's very important and very useful when you're doing qualitative research questions and when you want to measure attitudes and experiences, right? Rather than scientifically measurable data. Again, if you take that same question on the library experience, if you break it down into the SPIDER, S is the sample, which is your first year students. PI, phenomenon of interest, library use. What is the study design? I'm going to use a survey to extract my data, analyze, and come with the outcome. How do you evaluate? How do you measure the outcomes, which is subjective, maybe objective, and the research type. It's quite qualitative. So let's go down now into the practical applicability of these things, right? Okay, we'll come back to this slide a little bit later. So let's talk about the search strategy. If you recall, we've broken down our statements according to the PICO. We broke it down to the population, which is the student use in the library, intervention, playing music, comparison. There was no comparison in this particular case, and the outcome. You break those into 4 chunks. They pretty much form a search strategy. A search strategy is basically you moving to the next step of defining the eligibility criteria, refine that process, and you formulate a search strategy. What is a search strategy? Basically, a search strategy is a combination of those individual chunks based on the framework you use. Is it the PICO, PICOS, or SPIDER? And you combine those statements with Boolean operators. All right. So what we essentially did with the PICO, PICOS, SPIDER frameworks, we've essentially formulated a series of words that we can join using Boolean operators to retrieve the maximum number of articles that can be screened. So now the evidence part is coming out. You want to deep dive and dig and retrieve as much number of articles on this broad subject matter that you can then subject to the next level of screening, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. So breaking down into the PICO, PICOS, and the SPIDER helps you formulate a string of words, a series of words that you combine using Boolean operators, and you can have apply that in your comprehensive academic databases, the Scopus database and the Web of Science. You can use it in Google Scholar if you really want to deep dive for gray literature. And if you recall, we spoke about scoping reviews, where scoping reviews normally extend beyond our two widely accepted or acknowledged Scopus and Web of Science databases. You can deep down into Google Scholar purely because you don't have enough data to make an effective synthesis. This is for scoping reviews. Take that and keep that in mind. So this was a quick example. Sorry, don't pay attention to this. It's something that we'll have to talk about when I give you a quick assignment. So what is a Boolean operator? A Boolean operator is essentially an operator, some letters that combine and join statements. You combine and join statements to form a set string. So you have your and, or, not, and nor, right? If you look at the pickle, allow me to go back to our broken down statement. Let's go back to our cranberry juice statement here. You have patience and cranberry juice and prevention of UTIs. So if you recall, we had a global aim, which was a broad statement. We broke it down according to our frameworks. And now what we are essentially doing is using Boolean operators to combine these statements in our search databases or target databases to yield the maximum number of articles that we will subject to screening. And by screening, if you recall on the contents page, I spoke about the inclusion and the exclusion criteria. That's the screening part. You design a criteria for screening, and whatever amount of articles that you remain with, you analyze, extract data, analyze, report, synthesize and report. Then you have a full, complete review. So I had to digress a little bit, but this is essentially what it is. We talk about Boolean operators and how they combine terms. If you do or and, these first and second term can be used interchangeably if you use the or. If you use first term and second term, it means the terms that are used interchangeably, combine them with another term that stands alone that you can use interchangeably with another term. For example, patience and cranberry juice. You can say patience or cranberry juice. You could say patience or people or old people or aged people and cranberry juice. We can combine one item of the framework, the P. We can't or with I. We can't I or C or outcome. It's P and I and C and O. All right. So at each layer or at each level, you can define terms that are interchangeable. Why? You are allowing flexibility to improve the comprehensiveness of your search. You want to reach out or get to the bottom of the maximum number of articles that speak to any shred or thread of any term that's involved in your global aim or your global study title that you broke down into the Pico spider. All right. So these are Boolean operators. This is how you break down statements, combine them using Boolean operators, then you search. So what happens if you search? We talk about screening because not everything is relevant to your study. So you have to screen, remove what works, or what doesn't work, and remain with what works. So the screening process basically is informed by the inclusion and exclusion criteria. So this is the basic standardized inclusion and exclusion criteria. What do you normally exclude? You exclude articles from predatory journals. These are journals that are not indexed in any database. They're Trojans. If you are an English speaker, you have to exclude articles that are written in Portuguese. You can read Portuguese. That are written in French, you can't read, but if you can, well and good. articles with insufficient or irrelevant results, discussions, and conclusions, purely because you want to extract data, and an article that's not completely written and fully written serves you no purpose. What do you actually include? You include original research papers, you include books and book chapters, and MSc and PhD thesis, because these are examinable and they are peer reviewed. So you can include other factors. For example, you are carrying out a scoping review and there isn't enough information to do an effective synthesis. You look at maybe grey literature, conference proceedings, working papers, working documents, etc., etc. You have to lay it down, make us understand, and give us a reason, actually. Why did you use that grey literature? So how do you screen? To make your life easy, obviously, you've retrieved 500 articles from Scopus. You can import the search history into screening softwares like Distiller, Covidence, Ryan, or Miller, just to mention a few. And in that, you can also do a quick manual screening, removing what doesn't work for you by simply reading the title, abstract, and keywords. If they are nowhere or anywhere remotely close to what you want to achieve and your study aim, you discard. And that's one phase of screening. The next phase is full article screening. Normally, people use these softwares, Ryan, Distira, Miller, Litmaster, Covidence, etc. So you're actually now reading the whole article, decide, okay, I've read, maybe the title was appealing, the abstract may be somewhat appealing and the keywords, but the actual contents in the article, they don't answer my research question. You take them out. All right. So we are also in the process of developing our own in-house screening software. We intend to make it open source, and it should be available for use to everyone who wishes to use it. So the screening process number 3. So we spoke about screening according to article, title, abstract, and keywords. That was phase 1. Phase 2, full article screening. Phase 3, which is part of somewhat screening, you want to do a strength of evidence check, depending on your research study. If I'm doing a meta-analysis, obviously I'm looking for numerical data. So I have to grade my papers. Okay, I've retrieved 500 papers. After screening, stage 1, I got rid of 400 papers. After stage 2 cleaning, I got rid of 50 papers. So essentially, I'm left with 50 papers that I'm going to use and dig deep into or deep dive into to synthesize my review. So out of those 50 papers, if I now go to the third stage of screening, which is not really screening, but it's just grading based on strength of evidence and based on the type of research question. In this particular case, I'm deciding to do a meta-analysis. So I grade my papers from strong to very low or inconclusive. Strong papers and moderate papers. Why do you have to do this? It saves you time. You don't have to read all 50 papers, right? And you need to know where exactly can I get the data without really wasting my time reading other stuff that I've actually graded number 3 or number 4. You can just do your meta-analysis based on stage 1 of strength of evidence and stage 2. So if in this particular case, I'm doing a meta-analysis, I choose to stick to numerical data because I want to extract values that are subject to statistical analysis. So obviously, I'm looking at papers that did experiments and field trials. All right. They were recording. For example, they did the experiments to monitor how much of varied irrigation or water treatment irrigation strategies influence biomass, yield, below ground biomass. If they record that, and I also want to do a particular type of research, but using a different kind of irrigation technology. Maybe these studies were using sprinkler systems, drip. If I want to use porous pipe irrigation systems and monitor the same variables, I need to at least understand the effects of the different kind of irrigation systems they had on the key variables of yield, above ground biomass, and below ground biomass. So I have numerical data that I can collect that I then further subject to synthesis. So the next question is, after you do your screening, this is a graphical presentation of what you should expect. The process of scoping, planning, identification, screening articles, eligibility assessment, removing duplicates, articles included. At the end of the day, you want to disseminate a perfect shape, this little nice triangle, based on evidence. You've screened nonsense, you've given us what really works and what answers the research questions. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is just a quick Prisma flowchart. You have to detail what you have, what you removed. But most importantly, before getting to that point where you tell us what you removed and what you included, how did you collect all that nonsense in one bag before the screening phase? So this is essentially is the standard. But again, some closing remarks. I'm not trying to throw shade at old school literature review. If you're comfortable with it, you do that. But it's highly recommended that you do evidence-based literature review. It's very recommended to engage in this practice and applying the Prisma P approaches for your studies, and this builds publishable literature reviews. So take-home points. I'm sure for now you're wondering, should I do a rapid review? Should I do a systematic? Should I do a scoping review? The answers lie with you. And by answers lie with you, you know your research study, you know your research objectives, right? So what are the key factors to consider when selecting these between the two approaches? Do you wish to communicate results that answer a precise question, or you just want to provide evidence to inform practice? That's number one. Is your research question addressing feasibility, appropriateness, or effectiveness of a certain methodology or practice? You might want to consider a systematic review. But if your study is just interested in identifying certain concepts, newly developed concepts, or trends and patterns in already developed concepts, and mapping and reporting and discussing, scoping review would be your best bet. So again, the answers lie with you, your global aim, your research title, you break it down, and then you know what you want to achieve. What do I want to achieve? What should the audience hear, or what do I intend my audience to hear out of all of this? So answers lie with you. And for further reading, you should read this paper. I'll share this with Rennie, this slide deck and the information for follow-up reading for you guys. And this is one class exercise that you should do maybe in between your tea break. You have a scenario, right? We have a group of researchers, you and me. We want to develop a decision support tool that models agricultural water management across multiple scales. I'm sorry for guys from the medicinal sciences. I just stuck to my comfort zone here in agricultural water management. But again, it doesn't really matter. It's the applicability of the information that we've just gained in this morning on how to break down things, design a research strategy, and test it out in Scopus and Web of Science. So as a group of you and me, we want to design a decision support tool that models agricultural water management across multiple scales, that is from farm, field, irrigation, catchment level. And we do, obviously, we are not naive. We know that there are also other tools out there that do the same. But what should we do before we engage in any new development? Obviously, we have to take a stock take. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. So we decide to do a stock take study of the existing tools, their functionality, user friendliness, and the uptake. So we then decide to have you in the audience, one of you as part of our research team, to develop a methodology section. And your specific task is to develop a search criteria for the study what would an ideal search criteria look like? So think about the study objectives. We want to do a stock take study of existing tools, their functionality, user friendliness, and uptake before we develop our own tool. God knows we might be reinventing the wheel. We don't want to do that. So we have to actually do a study, identify what's there. And if I were to ask you now, what kind of review would this be? Would this be a rapid review? Are you doing a state-of-the-art review? Are you doing a scoping review? Are we doing a systematic review? That's the question to the room right now. And once we answer that, we need to break down this stock take study, break it down and try to fit it into the PICOS or SPIDER. Is this a qualitative study? Is this a quantitative study? Which framework works? Once we decide that, we break down that statement. What is the population intervention? What is the outcome, etc.? Then you have a search strategy. So thank you all for listening. And these are some of the references for the work that we do. I mean, that I used to generate this slide deck. And yeah, I think I in time managed to stick to my time. And yes, I'll be very happy to answer your questions. Yes, yeah, please go on, unmute. We can ask your question.
Morning, Doctor. This is Susan speaking. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, 100%. I can hear you.
I just want to actually say this is the best lecture I've ever heard on literature review. I'm an outsider. I'm from a medical background, library. For 25 years supporting research students. And this is the very, very best lecture I've ever heard. You are so knowledgeable. I cannot believe it. I just want to say thank you. I think you are doing a great, great job.
Yeah, thank you very much, Suzanne. There's another hand up.
Yes, thank you so much for the presentation. Can you kindly just go to the slide where you reference the typologies of reviews?
Okay, 100%. Yes. Let me share that with you.
All right, thank you.
Right. Okay, review typologies.
The slide before that.
The slide before that.
Yes, okay. This one. Yes, this one.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to grasp the grand and booth.
Okay, you wanted to get the reference?
Yes, thank you for that.
Okay, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So any more questions? I have about 4 minutes. I have another meeting to get into. I'm sorry. I really wish I had stayed with you for long, up until 10, so that I could actually go through how to, yeah, there's a hand up from, yeah, please feel free.
Yes, yeah, thank you very much, Doctor, for a very informative presentation. I'm actually glad to state that last year, the other year, I attended your other session and I managed to publish a systematic review on my research. Yes, so it was very helpful. So just one question. So now that when you are done with your review, you have published, would this then form part of your thesis book, or I can extract that part and put it in my thesis report?
Such a tricky question, but what I normally encourage my students to do is, it depends also on the university. In our department, we normally encourage students to publish a portfolio of papers, a thesis that forms a portfolio of published papers, in starting from your literature review right to the last experimental chapter. So yes, you can include this published paper into your thesis because it basically answers the global aim of your study and it informs the subsequent objectives that you are, the gaps that form the objectives that you answer in the subsequent chapters of your paper. So depending on your supervisors also, you're pretty much allowed to include it as a published chapter in your thesis. Any more questions?
Okay.
Oh yes, there's David. There's a question. Please go ahead, David.
Good morning, Doctor. Thank you for the presentation. I have one question with regards to the typologies that you have chosen. You have systematic and scoping.
Yes.
Are those the only applicable if, say, I want to write a review paper on my topic? Are those the only applicable typologies to use, or is there a certain reason why you chose to just those two?
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, David. So it really depends on the study type, right? For example, if you are doing a quantitative study of studies, or you want to quantitatively present your results, you do a meta-analysis. If you are looking at a study that scopes, right, and maps evidence on key concepts.
Okay. Let me make it easy for you. Okay, so let me make it easy for you and for myself. Let me say I'm doing a techno-economic analysis on something, then, but I just want an overview of that on what has been done. So can't I just go for it? Yeah.
So okay, thank you. I was just gonna get there. So to answer you, I only presented on scoping and systematic because these are the most popular and most comprehensive type of studies, all right, or type of approaches to present a literature review, right? So if you read through this list of different typologies, right, if you look at this framework, the SALSA by Grant and Booth, how do you want to appraise your literature? And what is the end goal after appraisal? How do you want to present? What is the type of synthesis that you want to give us? So you said your research topic is on, if you could repeat again.
Techno-economic assessment.
A techno-economic assessment of what?
Of green ammonia.
Okay. Of green ammonia on? Yes. Can I have the full topic, please?
No, it's just a techno-economic assessment of integrated energy system for green ammonia production.
Integrated energy systems.
Yeah.
For green ammonia production. Okay. Integrated systems, right? Techno-economic integrated systems, right? So what comes into my mind at the top of my head really is you probably wanna, so again, you need to be flexible with these things, right? You can systematically scope, all right? Looking at your topic, I'll do a two-stage approach. I'll scope on the techno-economic integrated energy systems, right? I'm taking it, there are multiple systems that we use for the production of green ammonia, and energy is a key factor, right? And it's the technologies that provide energy, the economic aspect of producing that energy, cost-benefit analysis involved in the production of green ammonia. So I would basically scope. After I scope, I systematically deep dive into assessing, understanding the gaps around. And if you systematically do something, you are allowed to perform some statistical analysis. So with these reviews, it's neither here nor there. You just need to understand your research aim, and it gives you a starting ground. Once you establish a starting ground for yourself, you figure out, okay, I can actually scope, assess the terrain. What are the integrative energy systems out there? Keyword also, operative word, integrative. What are the individual systems before they are assembled to form an integrated part that applied for green ammonia production? You scope for that. And after scoping and identifying, again, I'll stick to the integrative part, and this is me just speaking at the top of my head. Operative word, integrated energy systems. Are we looking at the energy generation sources, energy losses, and what is the cost-benefit analysis, the economic part of it now involved in the green ammonia part? We are basically measuring effects here. So you can scope and subject your data to meta-analysis studies. Or you can just systematically appraise your literature, identify gaps. These are the energy, these are the outcomes. Inputs, black box, output. Input, that's your question. In the black box, you break it down into interventions, the energy systems available, their efficacy or efficiency, and these are the outcomes, without, in any case, detailing the numerical analysis, and you provide recommendations on what is the future, what are the future research frontiers and research steps, what are the uncertainties involved in the findings. So it depends on how deep, especially, you want to go with this topic. You can go the systematic review way, or you can do a meta-analysis to measure effects of the different energy systems, individual versus integrated energy systems in the production. What are the effect sizes? I hope that answers your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I really wish I could stay a little bit longer. I have to jump into another meeting, and I'll share this slide deck with Rennie, and I hope she distributes to all of you. Over to you, Rennie, and thanks.
Thank you so much. Colleagues, I know it's an online seminar, but I think we can give a round of applause using our emoticons. Thank you so much, Dr. Tinashe Dirai, for making the time really to have a conversation with our postgraduate students as well as the broader NAST research community. I think we all can agree that this webinar served as a catalyst for some deep enrichment, and we found it quite empowering, especially the focus on the tools and techniques necessary for us to be able to conduct effective, high quality research and evidence synthesis. There it is, colleagues. Dr. Dirai is a long-term partner, and he's always willing and open to assist. For those that might want to get in touch with him, we will be able to share his contact details. The presentation will be shared, and even some of the articles that he referred to, we have a repository from his previous presentation. We'll double check if we have all the detail. We'll be able to share that information on the channel as well. But thank you so much, Dr. Dirai. We appreciate your time, and a round of applause to Dr. Dirai, colleagues.
Thank you, Rennie, and thank you all. It's always a pleasure to present to you guys and collaborate all the time. And I see there's a hand from Phoebe. Yeah, just one more question.
I also see Andrina. Colleagues, Dr. Dirai had indicated that he's rushing to a meeting. So 1 minute. If not, you can leave the question in the thread, and we can always request him to come back to those questions. So really, Hendrina, quickly, 30 seconds, just come through with your question. Should I assume the question is
colleagues, thank you, Doctor,
legacy?
for the informative. Yes.
So I think I lost the question, but thank you again, and I have to jump into another meeting. Enjoy the next session. Bye.
Yes, the next presentation started. I can't hear anything.
I think the next presentation only starts at 10 o'clock.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next session will start at 10, so we will just have a short break, and it's now 9:42, so we will start again at 10.
side, I say join now, because I've now moved to presentation room 5. Awesome. And Rina, please go and have your coffee. We want you back at 10 o'clock. Colleagues, will reconvene our session at 10 o'clock sharp. Thank you.
I can't hear. Maybe because no one is talking or something.
Good morning, Dr. Tertu.
Oh, yes, good morning.
We will start at 10. So Dr. Tertu should just hang on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but we can't really, I don't know whether Dr. Tertu is sitting a little bit far from the camera. It's half. So yes, perfect. Thank you, doctor. We will start in the next 10 minutes or so.
Okay. All right. All right, thank you. My pleasure. Bye. Bye.
Welcome back, Dr. Tetu. I see you.
Hey, yes, Rennie.
Yes, we just requested the team to go for a health break until 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock sharp will be starting. So I'll start with you, then you can introduce Miss Shippers as well. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay. Yes.
Perfect. Talk soon. Okay, colleagues, my time says 10 o'clock. So welcome back, colleagues, and thank you for staying with us. I'm going to switch off my video because my connection is not very reliable. So I'm switching off my video. Just bear with me, it's because my connection is not stable. It is my singular honor to invite Dr. Tetu Shiweda, our next speaker, as well as Miss Shippers, Susan Shippers. I'm not sure if I'm even pronouncing the name correctly. If you find my
Absolutely.
you know, when my voice drops, just know I'm not too sure what I'm saying. Ordinarily, I've got a heavy voice, and they are going to take us through an introduction to citation management in particular. End note, I'm excited to inform the NAST community that NAST is now licensed to use EndNote, and today's session really will give us the tricks on how to navigate the use of this excellent software. And Dr. Tetu Shiweda and Ms. Shippers will take us through the second half of our webinar. Colleagues, welcome. Please feel free to take the floor and have a conversation with the NAST research community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rennie, for that introduction. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Okay, I'm Dr. Tertu Shiweda. I am based here at NAST. I'm head of faculty and research support library department. We are here, I think Rennie have already done that introduction, that we here to present the referencing tool or free referencing manager, particularly EndNote. And we are co-presenting with Susan Schiffer, who is based in South Africa. And yeah, she is my co-presenter. And I'll just hand over to her to take the floor. Miss Susan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tetu. I'll do that. If you just give me a second, let me just open the PowerPoint and then share my screen with you. Thank you, Rennie, for the introduction. It is very nice to work with the people from NIST, and I am very excited to share the EndNote information with you. So good morning, colleagues. I see there are quite a few of you that are attending. Welcome, and thank you for taking the time. Thank you to NIST for subscribing to EndNote. We really appreciate your support. And then Dr. Tanish, I don't know who of you actually listened to his, Tanishi, who listened to his presentation earlier on literature, what was it? Information literacy, literature review. It was very, very interesting and very, very valuable. I think it was a very good lecture. So let us jump into EndNote. Please feel free to stop me if you want to ask me. If I go too fast, stop me, because sometimes I tend to have the ability to go too quick. So I'm going to just show you shortly the agenda. We are going to look at the EndNote desktop. NIST has subscribed now to EndNote, so all of you can download EndNote. I'm not exactly sure, Dr. Tatu, can you just explain quickly? Do you have the access to EndNote now via a link on the computers?
Okay, let me explain a little bit. Okay, we did the back deployment or the central upload of the EndNote. And they, unfortunately, it ended up only few computers that have received it. So for every admin computer, apart from student, every staff member will be able to see if they click on this flag on the left and check on the app, and you should check in the list on the menu of the app if you be able to see the EndNote. If you are not be able to see the EndNote, please report it to us that it does not appear, and we'll find a way how to assist you for the installation. For students, we are still getting a link from our IT support team. So the link is not, we don't have a link yet on the website, but we'll get it soon.
Okay, great. So in the meantime, I'm going to introduce to you what EndNote looks like and the features of EndNote, and I trust that soon you will be able to download EndNote and start using it. So I'm going to also show you how to create a library and save to an unsynced local folder. I'm going to show you the EndNote library interface, the features of that, what it looks like, reference creation, manual and text file import, references from a database library catalog, and then from Google Docs. I'm not sure to use Google Docs, but yes, that is also an option lately. Previously, we could not use Google Docs. When you download EndNote, and I'm going to now leave my presentation so that I can practically show you what it is what does it look like? Let me just close all this windows. So at the bottom here, I've got my EndNote library. After installation, and you will be prompted to install easy once you get the link, because everything will be done by IT, and all you have to do is to download it, and then when it's downloaded, it will open up, and this is what EndNote will look like then. Here is your EndNote library. So this will be your EndNote library. I'm just going to go back to the PowerPoint. I just want to show you the outlay of the library to explain to you. As you can see, currently we do not have a populated library at all. In the layout of the library, you'll see the first panel have got the references in. It's a group panel is in there, and the online searching is at the bottom there. So you can also search online, although I do not recommend that you search from here, if you are doing a literature review or a systematic review or busy with research, this is quick and easy to find something if you suddenly need a reference, but preferably not to do your complete searching on here. Then in the second panel here, we have the reference list. So it will populate as you import into your library, it will populate the bibliographic information here. And then you've got an advanced panel here at the top. So if you want to search for something in your library, you can actually search it in that advanced panel. In the third panel here, we do have a summary tab that displays a detailed overview of the selected reference. So once you've imported a reference and you highlight that reference, on the right-hand side, you will see all detail on that reference. You'll see that it has a PDF attached to it. So you can attach the PDF to your reference as well. And you can then easily edit that PDF as well. Then there's an edit tab, which you can edit your reference if needed. Most of the time it's not necessary. And right at the bottom here, you'll see there's an option where you can actually see a preview of what the reference will look like when you have it in your document, in your Word once you've populated. In this case, unfortunately, I see they've used the JAMA or JAMA journal referencing style, but there are over 7,000 styles that you can use, and I'm not sure what is the what is it called, the requirements at NUST for referencing, if they use Harvard style, APA style. If there's something in a style that you are not happy with and you would like to adjust style or the information that you need to be displayed, we can also edit that style sheet for you to suit your needs. So let's go back here. And here is the panels that I have been displaying to you. So this will be your desktop version. There is also a web version, which I will show you a little bit later. If you look at the PowerPoint here, here is an example. That is the desktop version. This is the online version, and this is the web version. The online version was with the older EndNote information or releases like EndNote 20, EndNote 9, and those. The new EndNote 21 is released with this web version, which is very nice. And you just have to type in web.endnote.com and it will actually bring up the. I will also go through that with you. So there are a few ways that you can import references into your EndNote, which you can populate it. One of them will be either from a database or from a Google Scholar, or if you have documents that you have already saved, then you will see that you will then be able to import those documents, assuming that there are PDF documents of journal articles that you have been saved, because they will normally have a metadata attached to it that will be imported in the correct format within the EndNote library. So I am going to start off by using a database on this side here. I'm going to use PubMed. So if I click on PubMed, you'll see my tab there will change. So what is nice about the new window as well, it's got your all references tab, so you can have multiple tabs at the top. So if I'm going to search on PubMed now, I'm going to type in, I'm going to just change this to a all fields, to search a term trail. Oh, no, I've got my capitals on trail running. And I'm going to say search. Then PubMed, oh, no, it doesn't show anything. Okay, let's do just running or run. Yeah, running. Let's search running. And as you can see, then it starts searching and it will start populating. So it received 2 results with running in. If I just search run, let's just see what happens then. I click on search, start searching, and it populated 117,000 words results for me. So if I say I want to narrow down my search, I will then go back to say in the title, and I want, oopsie, trail in there. So I'm going to change the title. All fields with run and trail in the, and this is where the Boolean operators come into play, and you'll see that you can select them on the drop down from there. And if you go to that drop down, there are many options also that you can search from. So let's just see if we search, we'll be searching. And now it only retrieved 53. So you can also narrow down if you put in one word and you have a second word, you can narrow it down. So what is nice about the searching here, it actually, I think, defaults for years. So if you put the year, it will start with 2024 and it will go down. If you want the authors in alphabetical order, you can also click on the authors and the authors will be displayed also alphabetically. So let's look at the years and see what we have got there. We start from the top, and I'm going to select a few references here. See, the moment I highlight the reference on the right-hand side, it will display with all the information. I'm going to select another one. Let's just see. Front public orthopedic nutrients. Okay, now I've selected 3 references and I am going to add them to my library, and I'm going to click on that plus. So add the selected online library records to your online library. And now on the left-hand side, you'll see that I've got all references. I've got recently added references and unfilled references. If I click on all references, it's just going to display the 3 references that I've selected. Okay, so that is one way of references. You will see that there's a paperclip there. If there's no reference, no paperclip in this column, it means there's no PDF attached to it yet. So what I can do is I can highlight all 3 of these.
Excuse me?
Yes.
Sorry to disturb, but can you at least be saying, if you are, for example, saying I'm going to click on a plus, at least tell us where the plus is so that we are following. Thank you.
Okay. So that I'm going to go back to, didn't the cursor show? Sorry, I thought the cursor showed. Let me just go back to the PubMed references. And I've selected them in the little tick boxes here, and there's the little plus. Okay, so it says add selected online records to your library there. Can you see if you hover over it, it also gives you a description. So we've added already, so I'm not going to click on the plus again, otherwise we are going to duplicate, and then I'm going to say all references. So now I'm here. Now I'm going to search for the PDF. So I'm going to highlight all of them. You can put in your shift button and click on the last one, or you can say Control A. And if you say Control A, it will select all of them at the same time if you want to search. So now where it's here in your all references panel here, you'll see that you can actually have a few things you can do. Under the search white paper or the paper with a magnifying glass on, you'll see that you can then, it highlights and says search the web for full text. So I'm going to click on that one so that we can start searching. The moment I click on that search, at the left-hand side, it says find full text, and you'll see that it's currently searching for 3 full text versions for these 3 references. So let's just see. Found one, so it shows us now that it found one URL. And we'll have a look what happens. So we'll just give it a second or 2 to do the rest of the searching. And in this way, you can then easily attach your PDFs to your EndNote library. Okay. I'm just going to click on the one that says found URL. Okay, now it's indexing the PDFs. So it found one PDF, it found a URL, which means it didn't find the URL there. It found one PDF for Rosekrans. Let's just see, did it find? No, it didn't. And it's still searching for one. And it's indexing a PDF. And there are the 2 that it actually populated PDFs. Can you see? So Rosekrans has got one and Urdamapeleta has got one. So Viljoen hasn't got a PDF that's available on the internet. So then you'll have to read article if you need to use that article. So once you've got the PDF, you'll see on the right-hand column here, where I've indicated to you just now, there's the summary option. So it gives you a summary. If there's a abstract, it will show you the abstract as well, and you can actually then read through the abstract. If you edit that reference for some reason, you can click on edit, and if you want to put in something there that you want to also have information, you can then fill it in one of these fields. Say I'm just going to say supplement 3 for the exercise of this, and I am going to say save. And then if you look at the summary again, let's just see if it added it as a supplement. No, it did not here, but in your edit section, you have got that information available now. So the PDF will be then under the PDF tab. And so there's 3 tabs at the right-hand column. An edit and a PDF. You can work on the PDF from here. So then if you see there's the markup annotation, if you click on that, you can do a few things on here. You can also click on that expand button and it will open up the PDF in a separate window for you. And you'll also see that the annotation is like a little markup annotation there. If you click on that, it's going to display the different types of annotation that you can do. So say, for instance, I want to highlight this first paragraph. Then I will drag my mouse over it. I will click on the highlight and it will highlight it for me. So this is now very nice. When I look at this paper while I'm doing my research, I can see what did I highlight. At the end of this paragraph, I want to put a sticky note. So now I can click on the sticky note there and it says add a sticky note. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to click at the end of my paragraph where I want the sticky note. I'm going to see that it appears. I'm going to double click on it and it gives me the option now to write a comment in my sticky note. This is important, or let's rather say NB, please use in conclusion. And it's written in there. So when I open my PDF, I'll see. But for some reason, I don't want to read the introduction every time. So I'm going to do an option here where I'm going to say up to, oops, sorry. You just go down further. This first part of the introduction up to there, I don't want to repeat to read every time. So I can actually strike. If I hover there, it says strike out the selected section, and I can then just strike it out. So then I know every time I don't have to read that again over and over. So if you don't save necessarily at this point, but you do close the window, you will see that it will automatically prompt you to save the changes, and you will just say yes. And can you see in your display in the desktop version, you will immediately see what you have done. And it will show you where you've highlighted, where did you underline, where did you... This is now interesting. This is the first time that I actually see this version of it in the window here. But there's a sticky note. You can also see if you want to search within your sticky note, what did you actually do? Let's just see if while we're in our EndNote library with our all references, and let's just go up here and just see if we have an option here for sticky note, because there is an option where you can then search sticky notes to see what is it. Just let's, oh, PDF notes. So let's just say conclude, oh my goodness me, conclusion.
It's not typing.
Or search.
It
doesn't. Sorry.
For a moment, it was not typing, but
yeah,
now we can see it.
Yeah,
so it's good.
It seems to me it's slow. So sorry about that. And then you'll see it will take you to that sticky note immediately, and it will square it up for you so that you can see where does conclusion come in. Okay. Are there any questions up to now on this point? So this is one way you can actually import your references into EndNote. The second way is you can search a database, or you can PDFs. What I'm going to show you first, before we're going to a browser and search a database.
Susan?
Yes.
Susan, there was a hand from David. I think it was David Kadila. Sorry for the interjection. There was a hand when you requested for questions. David raised his hand.
Problem. No.
Yes, I had a
You're
question.
welcome. Please pose your question.
Yeah, there was a time you were showing PDFs found, and of the 3 articles, I think only 2 had PDFs. And knowing that NAST has this e-library where you can get some of these articles, I just wanted to know if now them having a license, that they will be synced to EndNote, and I don't have to like go again to e-library to download and upload a PDF instead of just having it all in one on EndNote.
Yes, there is an option that can be implemented for the catalog to be linked, so that if you pick it up, it will. But I will show you also another feature that there is called EndNote Click. So we will get to that part as well, and I hope that will also be helpful for you, because then you'll most probably also that is available in your library. Yes, do you want to ask something?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. I thought I had the earphones in. Could you hear me clearly? There we are. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, we can hear you, Susan.
Good. Okay, so now I've got a folder on my computer. Before I actually had EndNote, or before I started with my research, I read a few things, or searched a little bit, and then I came across articles that I thought maybe this will be relevant and I can actually use them in future. So now I've saved them. Now I can import them without going back and searching for all those references individually. So you'll put them in a folder, and under File here, you'll see that there's an option that says Import. If you import a file, that will be one reference that you saved. If you import a folder, that will be a folder where you've got a few references. So I'm going to click on Folder. It's going to open this import folder for me. You'll see that everything here, it says Option PDF, Import All, and I'm going to then just find that folder. So if I click on Choose, I'll see that I've got on my desktop where I've got articles for EndNote. So I've got a folder there with the articles. I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to say Import. Now it's going to start importing those references into my all references. So now you'll see that my recently added references, that was 3, is going to change to the amount of references that it's importing from the folder now. And all my references will increase. So this will start increasing. Just give it a second quickly. Then for especially postgraduate students that are doing research and want to sort topics or doing more than one thing, they are writing a paper, but there is an option to create groups. And I will explain that to you further on. And can you see now it's imported all of these that I have saved there. You'll see, though it says a journal article, and it is a journal article, it is not been indexed with metadata. So I'll have to actually do that manually. This says journal article, but as you can see, it's a guide for parents. So it's actually a pamphlet and not an article. So I'll have to change this also to a pamphlet. So what you'll then do is you'll highlight the reference. You can then go to the edit screen. You'll see that there are reference types there, and you'll see journal article, and you'll go right down and you'll choose pamphlet. The moment you choose pamphlet, it will actually guide you with the information that is required. So say, for instance, this was the World Health Organization. I'll type in World Health Organization. I'll put a space and then the comma, and I'll say that this was in 2021, and then I'm just going to change the title so that it just shows a decent title here for parents. Delete, and I'm going to take out the PDF. And then I'm going to save. Now you'll see then if I save there, it will change the format here. So I'll say save, and there it now gives me the correct metadata, which I can use in my paper when I am doing my thesis or writing my article. So if I go back to my summary tab there, I will then see that here's World Health Organization, and it's a COVID guide for parents, and here's all the information. Here is the different styles of output. I'm just going to change it, and you'll see immediately you choose a different style, it will become a different way that it is displayed, exactly as the requirements is for that specific style. So, okay. I'm just going to go back to the Sage Harvard one. Okay, so that is another way of importing references. And you'll see now that all now are 14 references, and the last references imported was 11. Okay, so now I'm going to go to a browser to search there. So I'm going to open my Chrome browser. And I'm not sure if I should elaborate too much on too many things, and just basically just give you a good overview, because I can schedule a new training session again. Tatu, I'm not sure if we did schedule or planned scheduling a next session for training again. Do you know?
Tetu is having challenges with a microphone, but I can come
Okay.
in. I think the demand is really there, and it might actually also help for us to have cycles of the training. But today it's your platform until 12:30. So if you want to give us an information overload, believe you me, the students around the table are excited. We want to take in as much as we can from this session.
Yes, yes, no problem. But I mean, they must just stop me when they think I am elaborating too much. Okay, but yes, all right, let's go to Google Scholar. Google Scholar is obviously not your first port of entry for so research when you are doing the real research, but it's a very good place to start when you do not know exactly. You still have to formulate your question or identify your topic exactly. So this is a good place to play around, but this is sort of a secondary source that you will use. Obviously, you will first of all use your accredited databases. You will use your basically Web of Science, Scopus, Medline, all of PubMed, all of those databases that are relevant to your topic. So in Google Scholar, I'm just going to show you a few things. So if you click on those three little lines there and you go to settings, now mine is slow as well, you'll see that it normally defaults to 10 per page. I've just searched articles. If you want law, you can actually add that. So I'll change it to 20, and I said just to open it in a new browser window so that it's just easier, that you don't lose your page which you are working on. And then it will automatically be defaulting to BibTeX if you go there. So I recommend you go there and you choose EndNote and you say save. Then when you search Google Scholar, it will automatically search. I'm going to search nanoparticles on Google Scholar. So I'm going to click on nanoparticles and I'm going to get a list of all the articles on nanoparticles. So now you will see that immediately it will say import into EndNote. So you don't have to change it then every time. And there are a few options. You've got a library in Google Scholar as well. So there are a few options that you can utilize in Google Scholar. Then we have EndNote Click. That is also something that we can, I'll show you where you can actually download it, or it's easy to download. There are a few handouts that I have created already for short versions of how to create my EndNote Click. So if Dr. Tatu wants me to actually forward those documents, I can easily do that, and then we can actually then she can actually distribute to all of you so that you do have sort of a little short pamphlet on different things. In this case now, for some reason, the EndNote Click is not doing anything here. It's not picking up my stuff, but you can see that here you've got the import into EndNote. I'm not sure why it doesn't pick it up, because normally if I click on import into EndNote, it will go down and it download there, and it will, if you click on it, it will say Scholar. You will click on it, ENW file, and it will open up in your EndNote. I'm just not sure. And there it is, one article imported, my all references populated to 15. And here is my, unfortunately now it's not adding the PDF, but you can then actually highlight it. Go to little search glass there and then just click and ask it to find the PDF without you needing to download the PDF. So search for PDF. Oh, it's not highlighted, sorry. And search for PDF. Just see if it's which one is not found. Found 2 PDFs, not found. I wonder why it's not finding the PDF, although the PDF shows that it's attached to ResearchGate. So that might be a problem. Let's just import this one into EndNote. So you'll click on import into EndNote. You will click onto the download. We'll click on there and it will automatically then go into your so I'm not sure why this is not doing this at the moment, but yeah, we can look at that. Let's just see what it's found. Why is it not finding Scholar for a reason? But in any case, if there's an issue, I'll just have to sort that out then. Okay, so let's go back to the browser. And now I'm going to search in PubMed. So PubMed is an open database, so you can easily search on PubMed for information. You can do an advanced search. So obviously when you do your research, you'll do an advanced search so that you can actually explain exactly how you do. I'm going to type in diabetes, and I'm going to type diabetes mellitus, type 2 diabetes. Let's see what does it give us for type 2 diabetes. It gives a lot of results, 74,000. You also know that you can actually limit to the years that you want. This is quite limited to, mine is already limited to the last 5 years. So that's fine. And for some reason, I don't know what is it with Google Scholar, but can you now see that in my browser, so it's now populated 9 of these references that has EndNote click. 9 of these references that have PDFs. So I can actually immediately put these references into my EndNote account. So I'll have to select all of them and then say, no, I don't want it that way, sorry. Let me go back. Sorry about that. Let's go back there. I've selected all of them. Oh, there it is, that one that also says export available PDFs and references as .ris files, because always a .ris file is compatible with EndNote. So I'll click on that. It will download all of them immediately in there. And let's just see if it did automatically import into my EndNote. It did not. So, which it was supposed to do, but there are so many changes on Chrome. All right. Later that I see that they don't make it that easy for us anymore. So that means I will have to go and select each of them to then go into my EndNote. So just let's go back to EndNote then and see the one that I've selected now should then display. There it's displaying. Why did it not attach the PDF? Because it's supposed to attach the PDF. I'm also not sure what is wrong on my side this morning, because it should actually import the PDF, if I'm not mistaken. Let me minimize this a little bit. see, where is my browser again? Because originally we asked it to import all of this, export available PDFs and references. Oh, here it says publisher not found, access not found. Okay, PDF access not found. Okay. Okay.
Whom were we supposed to give this link for EndNote to populate on the website?
So I'm going
Doctor, you're not
and
muted.
gives it to the webmaster.
Okay.
But then you have to indicate where you want it on the website as well, so she knows.
Dr. Shiweda, can I request you to mute? Can I request you to mute? Thank you. Sorry, Susan, please proceed.
No problem, no problem. Thank you. If you select them from the database as such, you'll select them in the little tick boxes there, and you can send them to Citation Manager. Now let me just see, because they also just go up here. But also do not attach the PDF. Okay, I'll just have a look into that. So now I've got 20 references here already. I want to search another one here on another database. Just allow me to search on this catalog. The UP catalog, and I'm going to just choose a database from here, and I'm going to choose Web of Science. Oh, why doesn't it want to go in now? What did I do now that I cannot log in here? Well, how did I change my login details? Now it's just slow to download. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Trail runners. Oh, runners, strong runners, backspace, search. Okay, and here I get a few references as well. So from here I can also access and select references, and I can export them to my EndNote desktop. It's always important to EndNote desktop. Export. It will download up there. let's see if it now automatically went into the EndNote. No, it didn't. Imported references. It was the 3 that I now selected. Was it those 3 though? Let's just go back. Which was the ones that I selected? Okay. Let's just see. I'm just going to do one so that I can see if that is the one that I've exported to EndNote desktop. Export. Importing. And my EndNote. Okay, there is the one that I've imported. So I'm not sure if, yeah, the others didn't import for some reason. I'm not sure why. But now that one that came from Web of Science are also important. So if I could look at the summary here, here is all the information. Web of Science, article record. Just a little bit of advice. This is also very nice to use when you are doing your systematic review or your, yeah, because normally you have to give a comprehensive search strategy that you've used. You have to select certain things, and then all the Web of Science references can be placed in a group. So if you have a My group and you can create a group, you will say Web of Science group, and all the references that come from Web of Science you can put into that group and create a Scopus group. And in that way, you can compare which were duplicates in the 2 databases and things like that. But I'm not going to elaborate on that because that is quite an extensive exercise as well. But that is what you can do with My groups. And then you can do your comparisons and what is necessary with that. So this is the other way of importing references. I want to just have a look quickly so that I can show you. On that File tab, the most important one is to open your library. And the most important thing is that you must only have one library. They do recommend that you can have more than one library, but if you sync to your online version, the library currently using will be synced to that version, and you won't find the other references again. So it's better to create different groups for your different research projects than creating more than one library. And very important, if you save your library, then it must be saved in your EndNote. When you download it, there will be an EndNote folder that will be created automatically on your PC, where you take your version on. So what I want to show you here with file is that, and then also the import file or folder for PDFs. So that is, if you want to share a library with or somebody's shared a library with you, you'll open the shared library here. So you can collaborate with researchers. If you are more than one working on a project, you can collaborate on that. In the edit tag here, we have got preferences. If you click on preferences, you'll see there's a list of EndNote preferences, but the most important one is the sync reference. And here you will have your, type in your password and you'll say, okay. What is important about that is when you go to your browser and you type in EndNote.web, let's just see if we get to that, then you'll see there's EndNote web. And if you log in there, it's going to prompt you. I am log in. Let's just see, log in. Why is it not giving me the Access EndNote Classic here? Oh, that is the old one. If you log in here, oh.
Do you want just one?
EndNote web, sorry, there it says
Sorry
access.
again, Susan.
Sorry?
Colleagues, can we please mute our mics so that we can give Susan. Theodore, kindly mute your microphone. Colleagues, let's mute our microphones. Sorry again, Susan.
No problem. So what is important is that you must register with the same email and password here or to be able to sync. So if you open your EndNote where I showed you where the syncing is now, then let me just see why. Minimize your EndNote library where the file, where the edit preferences is and the sync option. So that is the email and that is the password that you must use exactly the same for that in order to be able to register your online version. Can you see what the online version looks like? It has all the references and it automatically synced already. What do I have in my EndNote library? Let me just see. What do I have in my EndNote library? How many references we have there? 21. Okay, so and now in my EndNote online version, I only have 20, so I don't know why there's one missing. But can you see the
Yes.
references that I have
You're here for your
imported there is available here already, which is nice. You can also see the abstract here. So that is also available. You can view the PDF from your online. So if you, for instance, are somewhere where you don't have your desktop with you, you can always link on here and you can work from here and you can add your references here as well. If you add them here, they will sync automatically once you open your desktop EndNote again. So that is what is very nice about the EndNote on a desktop version. So that makes it a lot easier for us to work from anywhere where we are. So we just close that window again and yeah, you'll see here it shows where the PDFs are attached. So all of these that have a one lung next to them are ones that have PDFs attached. So, and if you go back to your EndNote here and we go to edit and preferences, you'll see that it's ticked sync automatically and it will sync automatically. And your sync status will appear up there with your email address. So that is something that is very, very nice to use as well. Allows you then to work anywhere from a place where you don't have your desktop available with you at the time. Okay, so let's go back to the online databases here. So now we've searched different databases. We have imported EndNote references into our EndNote library and we have populated it. So now under references, you can add a new reference completely manually, but I think nowadays we are so on internet and linked with internet resources that we don't really need to do that. If you click on, as I've explained earlier, all the different options that you have that can be used for manual referencing. Okay, so let me just close that. Then you can edit a reference from here as well. You can copy references to a new library if you want, or choose a library. But as I said, recommended just to have one library. You can find full text from here as well, and even updates. You can actually attach figures as well. And then on Web of Science, you can actually look at all your information as well. Then on the groups here, we have got create a group. So you can create a group from here. You can also just right click on here and say create a group. And I am going to just say I'm going to create running as well. And I'm going to create another group. create a group, and I'm going to call that diabetes group. Okay. So that is for the groups. Mostly what you'll use is to create a group or to delete a group or rename a group, but you can also do all of that by right-clicking on that group, and you can do it from there. The tags is very nice to have as well. So if you have your all references tag, you can create a tag, and you can create a green tag, and you can name that tag running and create the tag. So now I'll go back to my all references. I will then search, and I'll say in any field running, or is it run? What did I use earlier on? Run. These have all got running or most probably run in the title. So you can see that trail somewhere, even it is sports event, it's not in the title, but they are discussing that. So what I can do is I can highlight these, I can right click on them, and I can manage tags, and I'm going to put them in the green tag and say okay. And now they will all have, you can also adjust your columns here. So I'm just going to adjust a little bit. And even you can change the sequence in by dragging and dropping them. So now you'll see, why have I got only one here with a green tag? Let me just see. Oh, I've only put one in there. All references, run, search again, highlight all of them, right click. Let's just see the tagging again, manage tags, and running. Okay. Oh, it only does one at a time. It doesn't do all of them at the same time. But can you see now I've got green tags here. So this is just an overview then for you to easily see what green tag is. You can add more than one tag here. So let's just see this tag, this article. So I'm going to add a tag to them, that one as well, manage tag. I'm going to say create a tag. I'm going to make it red. Create a tag. New tag. I didn't rename it then. Let's just rename the new tag. Right click on the tag. In the tag, I am going to say that this is marathon tag as well. And then let's go back to all references. Can you see now that one has got two tags on it? So you can easily with an overview see with the tags now that's marathon and running in that tag there. But you can then in your groups, you can now go and say all references. We're going to say run again. We search. We select all of them. Here you can select all of them. Hold your mouse in and then you can drag. Let me just get this dragging and dropping in running. And there's all 6 of them now have been populated in my running tab there. So that's my all references tab. I've got a running tab. I can actually change the running to be on that side, and then tab by using my marathon tag, and I can have more than one tag open at a time at the top, so I can immediately go to whatever tab I want to go to up there. So can you see what is of the groups and the tags? So once you've got a group on running and you've got a collaboration research on that, then you can share this running tag with the rest of your colleagues, and you can say share group. So now I'm going to click on share group. Okay, so it's just waiting for the sync to do completely. Let's just see, and it's authorizing, so it's doing the synchronizing. Now it opens a window where it says sharing group running. So I can then decide to who do I want to share it. So I'm going to just share it to my Gmail. Oopsie, sorry, at gmail.com. And I'm going to decide now, can I read and write, or can I only read the references? Because we are collaborating on the same article, I'm going to say read and write, and I'm going to add a please add the references used. Okay, so that person can now add their references to this group, and you will immediately see that he or she is populating in that group. So and you'll click on invite, and it will invite that person, and you'll see that there's what it is. You can always with that change or remove it, or remind them that you have sent them the link, and then you can close it. So that if I add references to this group, you will immediately see that it's been populated by that person who added references to the group, which makes it very nice and very much easier to then consolidate the whole document in the end and have all the references in the correct format and attached at least to your information. Okay, so that is tags. Then we've got library. Here's also an option for sync. You've also got a sync option there. You can do a simple search. You can do search in this advanced search here. And then the important thing is to find duplicates. Very important, no duplicates references found. But that is what I actually wanted to do just now. I wanted to add duplicates, and I'm going to add a duplicate now quickly so that we can, so that I can just show you how the duplicates actually do trail runners. Let's just see. Yeah, there's a where's my search? All fields, trail runners. Rosenfeld, I think, was the ad author. Rosen, what was that? Let me just quickly see in my what was that author that I wanted to do a duplicate? Rosenkrantz. Okay, let's do that. Rosenkrantz. And search. Hasn't got. Why does it not show a duplicate? Is it not in Rosenkrantz? Rosenkrantz L. Let's just see if we put in the author, if that will actually retrieve Rosenkrantz. Oh, there is no Rosenkrantz L in this database. Okay, let's do another one. Full-Yun. Full-Yun, which is the Full-Yun that we are using here now. Full-Yun C, I think. Full-Yun. Why do I not find any of them in here? Let me just see. Full-Yun. Let's see, Carl Full-Yun Kennelly. Let's see if this one will be in there. Kennelly J.A. Oh, you see what might be the problem was the word there. So let's just see. Full-Yun again. Full-Yun. Interesting. Okay, A Full-Yun, A Full-Yun, A Full-Yun. Space C. Full-Yun C. Okay, there it's picked up. Let me just see. Training for shorter ultra trails. Where is that trail running one? Trail objective. Just put in trail with that. let's just see, this is 2 different items. I think that is the one. Let's just export it. Go up with say citation. Export. Imported. Okay, let's see if we find duplicates now. So library, find duplicates. And that is the way it will display to you how duplicates are found. And now you can see easily that was record 62, that was record 63. If you look at that record, then the authors are the same, the dates are the same, the title is the same. The one has the journal written in full, the other one has got the abbreviation of the journal. This one comes from Ovid, this one comes from, it doesn't say from where it comes, who the publisher is. That's got a date. This has got 2 ISN numbers. This one is, oh, they've both got the DOI number. So this one has got more information than the other one. So now you can decide which one do you want to keep. Obviously the one with the more information. But what is important now is that when you do your review, your meta data, or your not your metadata, your evidence-based information, and you have to compare, you can now also see from which publisher did this one come. So you can say this one in your one group, and this is in your group for Google Scholar, this was in your PubMed group, then you'll see that one comes from, you've got retrieved one from both of those groups, but one was from PubMed, one was from Google Scholar, and that is then when you will discard one. But that is where you can do your comparisons. So I'm going to say keep this record and it will discard the other record. And then I'll be back at 21 references again. Can you see? Okay, so that is basically on the references sharing and checking your duplicates. So under library again, you find the duplicates. There's an option that says open term list. If you click on journal term list, which is the most used one, I assume, then you'll see that it will open up a term list for you. I have now imported this term list previously, but I'm going to delete this term list so that I can show you why I say that it is of quite importance that you can actually add the term list to you. It's just running very slowly, but the moment it has deleted all of it, then we can look at the lists. There are different lists for different disciplines. So law has got one list, medical sciences, human sciences. I think, I'm not sure what the names are of them. I used to work with medical sciences and the law list, but we'll have a look at the lists now, and you can see, then you can import those lists. Why I recommend you to do that, they normally give the journals in the way they want the journals to be displayed in the referencing list. So that is where the importance of that comes in. I'm not sure why the network is so very slow, because normally it deletes the list so quickly, but it's really taking its time now. And then you can import that list or doing your list of references at the end of your document. Then the format of the journal should display according to that list. If a journal does not appear on that list, you can always add a journal there as well. There are ways that you can do that, which is very nice. I'm not sure when last was the list updated though, but new journal titles do appear and then not be on there. Also be aware of the fact that there are the predatory journals, and to make sure that you actually not use the predatory journals. It's important to check the predatory list of journals. There's the Beals list. I think there are a few more. And then to make sure that you then not actually use one of those titles that appear on there. And they are so sleek. They come in and invite you to publish in their journal, and then it's actually journal. So also make sure before you publish any article that you are aware if it's not a predatory journal or not. And this is where your librarian comes in. Very, very important is to contact your librarian to assist you, to make sure that it's not a predatory list, to when you do your searching, also to assist you. They are really knowledgeable on the searching. So under journals list, I'm going to import list. If I click on import list with the download of the software of EndNote, all these have been, as I said, there's the law, there's medical, biosciences as well, anthropology, religion, physics. So all of these lists are disciplines are available. So if I choose, and I'm going to choose the medical sciences again and say open, then it will import into my terms. And if I go back there in my list, it should display all the journals for me. The reason why this is in the style sheet for the references, your references, you'll see that there's an abbreviation 1, abbreviation 2, abbreviation 3. And depending on what default they've actually done on the style list, you'll get the correct abbreviation there. So that will pick up the right abbreviation here. You can then also add a new term. Say, for instance, you want to put in the South African Journal of Medicine, and you do the abbreviation, whatever it might be, use the same abbreviation and then just save, and it will actually save that journal into your list as well. So that is very nice to do. So if for some reason you have a problem with your library, you can also recover your library from here, normally when you have saved it somewhere. But that is why it's important to have a registration online so that you can actually have your references online as a backup. Then the tools, the output styles, as I said, normally it will default to just about 7 styles when you open your EndNote, and that will most probably be the APA 7 author date style, the Harvard style there, and the Vancouver style. Those would be the only ones that will be displayed. But now you want to choose a style. So you can now do Open Style Manager. As you can see, I delete the styles as often as I can, but I assist with so many styles that they are all still lying there. Now you can, if you want to take off a style, you can just unclick it here and you don't have it on your list anymore. If you want to use, say for instance, the journal Nature, you can select Nature and it will actually then be on your style list. So if I window and I go to my references here, you'll see Nature will automatically appear there. And if I click on Nature, this is the format that Nature wants the publication, and it will immediately display in the format that they wanted. Can you see how it differs from Harvard, for instance? The journal is not abbreviated. The oh no, what did I do now? Nature. The DOI did things like that. So yes, there is yeah, I pick up another duplicate as well. Systematic review. And it didn't pick it up though for some reason. This one is attached with the PDF. Okay, so now we're still at the tabs there at the library, and then recover. So under tools, we looked at the output styles. So you'll just open the style menu, select the style you want. There's nothing else here. Then there's the help button on our library page, or on not our library page, on our WWIS academia page, academic. There is a lot of uploaded videos already also about EndNote if you need to have a look at anything and not sure about it. But other than that, please do not hesitate to contact either one of us. Zanele for assistance if needed. Okay. I think your ears are now tired of my voice. Are there any questions? Let me ask that first.
Colleagues, there it is. Ms. Susan has given a presentation. I know it's a lot to take in, but with practice, we'll get there. I acknowledge the hand of, there's Moyelele. Please
So
come
yes,
through, followed by Grasser. Then probably we take it. Is there a third hand? Okay, and then John. In that order, then Susan will try and respond. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan, for that wonderful presentation on EndNote. It looks very interesting. I hope I will start using it anytime soon. But I have the following. I have the following questions. Number one, when you were saying creating of groups, should I say this creating of groups is the same as if I want to create folders? Or subfolders there?
Yes, in EndNote, yes. It will be like folders.
Okay. And then the second question is, I'm currently using
talking about groups in the.
Okay.
Yes, no, carry on.
The second question is, I'm currently using Mendeley. How do I synchronize to EndNote? And then
I do have. Yeah,
and then I have about 4 questions.
Okay, let me first answer Mendeley question. There is specific steps I've created for you in that sort of handout pamphlet that I mentioned earlier. I can through. I'm not sure if who will actually coordinate that. To then to whom must I send it, and then sort of send through the information to the clients or the colleagues that are listening at the moment. I'm not sure. How are we going to?
I think Dr. Shiweda will be the right person to share with. She will then share with us, and we can circulate via announcement. That way, everyone has access to it, irrespective of whether they're attended today or not.
There's also, I'm not sure if there's any other software that the students are using, like RefWorks or anything like that, but I think Mendeley is the most popular one.
So will that be available for us at NAST?
Yes, of course. I will send you the handout, and I'm sure Dr. Tatu will then submit to all of you.
It will be shared via announcements, so you need to look out for your announcements when they come through, because we'll share it with the whole university, not just participants from today's workshop, because it's a resource for all. And we will also try, and we are in the process of creating a website. We will also be sharing those resources on the web page, not a website, web page for postgraduate postgraduate support. But announcements, something will come through. Please look out for it.
Okay. Thank you. The third question is, okay, how do I synchronize EndNote to Word format? Or to also be included? You see how we do WebPin for Mendeley?
Yes, we use the Word format now still. Yeah. Sorry? Did I miss something?
You said how do you do it in Word?
I'm going to explain. I'm going to demonstrate the Word for you as well now.
Okay, okay. And then the last question is the first speaker, Dr. Tinashe, was telling us about the apps that we can use, such as Ryan, and will you say that the way you are showing us EndNote on how you can invite somebody in and participate, will you say it work almost the same, in the same way as these softwares? Like I can invite somebody to scan the documents with me, to also look at how I remove the duplicate.
You can, yes, you can, because then you can, but I think to scan the documents for yourself, EndNote will be your option. I think to share that action with another person, because most probably your supervisor will also scan and select references, will be best to do it on one of those software things, because otherwise you're going to start getting confused. Then on EndNote, you've got your own way. You're going to sift through all of the references.
Okay,
They can do it on that software, and then you can compare.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Are those all your questions?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Another question.
We had Gracia and then John.
Good morning, Miss Susan and everyone. Thank you so much, Miss Susan, for this presentation. It was really informative and interesting. Thank you very much. My question, I would like to ask.
Thank you, Gracia.
Yes, I would like to ask ma'am if ma'am could please show how to display the slides using online EndNote web. Since we are a student, we don't have access to the EndNote desktop. I just wanted to know how can I display the APA using the online EndNote web. If ma'am could please just demonstrate it, please. Thank you.
Okay, if I understand correct, you haven't been using the EndNote online, the trial version, have you? The short version that is available with Web of Science. Have you been using that or not?
No, it's my first time.
Oh, okay. I'll have a look at that now as well. Just let me make a note. EndNote online. Okay. And the style. Hey. Output. Okay, we'll have a look at that now. Good. Who else is there? Thank you, Graka, for your questions. Rasa.
We also had a hand from John, if John could come through. Thank you.
Sorry, for me, my question was already posted and it was already attended to. Thank you very much for the information and for this very helpful lesson for today. It will really assist us in the upcoming assignments. Yes, that's all I can say. Thank you, bye.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you,
Gracia
John.
and John, if you could also drop the legacy hands because your hands are still up. Susan, over to you.
Thank you very much, Rennie. And I think that we should, with the second training session, when you have actually now downloaded the EndNote, it's been made available to you, we can really arrange a second session so that we can then go through the steps and the growing pains that you're experiencing. So please do not hesitate to arrange for some more session. Okay, then so there's no more questions. Just quickly back then to, let me just open my EndNote here. What I want to show you as well, and that's the one other option that you can import references is by captures. There are two EndNote versions. I'm going to go to my EndNote web. If you go to the login here, you'll see that there's an access to the new EndNote web. So you'll register there. The online classic one is here. That's the one that you actually have access to through Web of Science. I'm just going to go to the classic one. Why I'm going to the classic one is you will also register with the exact same credentials, the same email, the same password. And I'm going to sign in. There's the register option. I'm going to sign in on my own now. So let me just go in there. And I hope it's going to go in now and not prompt me because these passwords are driving me crazy. Okay, so here is my references. And you can see I've got the 21 references that I've got on my EndNote is also synced to here. And here is also but this classic EndNote has not got the features that the other EndNote has. But what is nice here is under downloads, you can either get EndNote Click, download it from there, or you can take capture reference, drag, and just drop it in your bar at the top. I'm going to show you what capture reference does. So I'm going to search something on the, what is that? What is that? Oh, come on. Let me think of something, but disease, the CDC. Let's see if CDC will pick up. Oh, pick up CDC, Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Well, then get different options or let me explain it this way. You've got books that you will be referencing. You'll be having journal articles that you will be referencing, and you will be having websites that you are referencing. And a website will normally be something from either a government organization or a Center for Disease Control, or a website will be the World Health Organization. One of the other options that you can use. So, and the important thing is that you cannot reference a PDF, because if the URL of the PDF changes tonight, the person decided it shouldn't be dermatology anymore, but dermatologist, then that link is gone and you won't find that reference anymore. So I just want to go to an option where there is a option where you can choose a PDF. Wait, I think on right news. We don't want to go to news. We want to go to let's say HIV. Vaccines. Okay, there might be a PDF here, but whatever it is that you actually want to reference, if there's a PDF, you go to the page where you will click on the PDF. So you don't use the URL of the PDF, but you found that specific PDF. Then capture reference will do this for you. So if you click on capture reference, it will then go to EndNote and capture it for you. So I'm not sure if that one is going to work now, but it's going to work most probably, but it's not going to. And we are going to say that this is not a journal article, but this is a web page, and it will default to the requirements for a web page. The URL will then automatically be in there. Not in with this. Let me just close and see if I can log in with my own, my new credentials for WIS, because that is important. Now it's going there. Okay, web page, because now it's not going to actually import it into my. Let's do another one. Center for Disease Control. Let's go to South Africa. Oops. Okay, interesting. CDC impact, TB. What is it? CDCs in South Africa. Okay, so now I'm going to say capture reference. Let's see if it's going to prompt me now to log in. It doesn't want to. Capture process. Okay. This is now frustrating. I'll have to, but in any case, as I said, the web page, the end-to-end note, it's not going to save it. Note, make sure you do it to EndNote desktop and not the .com one. And I'm going to say save to, and it's going to download. Maybe it will automatically go into my EndNote. Let's just see. And there it is, CDC web page. And then it's got everything. And you know that the link for the URL is correct. So if they click on that link, it should automatically take them to the page where you found that information. Do you see that? So this is for a and obviously you can edit it because I think CDC in South Africa, and you can put a colon and then the global health, the perfect format. And you can actually put the CDC as the space, comma, let me just see. And then there's the URL. You can also then add the cited 2024, things like that. Then you can save it, the save button. And then if we look at the summary, you see now it's changed the format of that file. Now nature is that. Let's see what Vancouver asks for. There it is, updated, available from with more information. And a referencing style that you used, what will be the information that will be displayed there. So let's go to that Harvard one, and the link is available there immediately. Okay. So that is another way of importing, so which is nice. The other thing that I wanted to show to you was then in EndNote Web. Where's my EndNote now? Web here. So let's see if we can cite from here. You see, you can also add here to your groups. You can remove selected references, you can delete them, and you can create a new reference. They are busy updating the online version, though. I do not, however, see now that you can reference from here. Let's just see if we do that. Export select reference, export it, add to groups, cited from here at the moment. Grasa, does that now answer your question? Did I understand it correctly? Or are there something else that you actually wanted to know about the web version?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, it does. However, my network was really bad and I was off, but it's fine. Thank you so much.
Then, okay, perfect. Then on the other version, which we had, the older version, obviously also you cannot, oh no, it doesn't go there now. It doesn't, you cannot cite from there, but you can add references, but they are busy updating this features of the EndNote Web, which is very nice and will be very, very useful. So the Mendeley I will send you, and then there was a question about the APA style. I think I have almost covered most of the features that are available. I'm going to open up a Word document. Let me just see. I've got the manuscript example here. Okay, so here's an example of a manuscript. It's really a rough example, and it's not most probably not the best version of a manuscript. Where's the full? No. Oh, sorry. Of a manuscript, but it's at least something that I can just explain to you, and you can see how to do that. So this is the bibliography. I'm going to delete that. So now you've started typing your manuscript, and as you type, you will then cite your in-text citation, being it before the full stop or after the full stop. You'll see in your Word document, there's a tab. There will be a tab. Once you've downloaded EndNote, it will automatically download and do the plug-in to your Word document where the EndNote tab will appear. So when you are working in your Word document, you will have the EndNote tab, and then there are more than you can insert your EndNote. You can go to Insert Citation and click on Insert Citation, and then you can actually start searching for or find, and you can, I've got Viljoen in there, Rosenkrantz, Rosenkrantz was the other author, was it with a Z? Find, and it will find the author for you. You can also just drag your columns to see clearly. Okay. And there's all the information on Rosenkrantz, and you insert, and it will insert. Why did it do that now? Okay. Let me.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Where did you press that it inserted? I didn't see.
Okay, I'll do that again. So I've put my cursor where I need to insert it. I make sure I'm in my EndNote 21 tab at the top, and I go to Insert, and I reference, and I down at the bottom here is an option for Insert, and you can even choose here if you want to insert in the bibliography only, but other than that, you can choose the format. But now I'm just going to click Insert because I'm going to make the, now why does it not want to insert? Okay, let's do the insert with choosing and see if that makes a difference. Don't know why it doesn't want to insert that. Wants to find another citation. Let's go to Viljoen, find, choose one of Viljoen and insert. What do you think happened now? What did I do? Let me close this document and then just start again. Sorry about that. Why does it not want to display now? Take out the citations, otherwise we'll have to start on a new page. Maybe this page is got of mine. Okay, so EndNote tab, insert citations, choose, oops, so sorry, Viljoen, insert. Oh, Okay, that is one important thing. Just let me to show you this. You see it's inserted there, but instant formatting is on. It's also important to make sure that instant formatting is on. I don't know. Oh, why this is doing this. Let me close this. I'm going to just take a new Word document and blank document and work from that. I'm just going to enlarge the writing. So one introduction from the literature we have seen the following, and I'm going to insert my citation. So I go to, I make sure my instant formatting is on. I go to insert citation, insert, I choose a citation, I insert, and now why is it not inserting? That's interesting now suddenly into there. The other way is to go to EndNote, the other option, go to EndNote, and then go to the group where you, and then choose the reference. So it's highlighted. There's inverted commas in that column there or that pane, and then on that inverted commas will insert your citation. This is now the most hilarious thing that I've ever seen. Let's just change that. Might be because of pulp. Oh my goodness, you see, pulp is the law one completely different. Sorry about that. Now it's my mistake there. Pulp. So just let me quickly go back again to the manuscript because that should be then working now. Okay, so I'm going to take out that. I'm going to take out that. Take out that one. Okay, and take out the bibliography. Sorry. Okay. I put my cursor where it should be. I make sure my EndNote tab is open. I go to insert citation, and I'm going to choose my reference. So I'm going to say that one, and I'm going to insert. And I don't know why it actually instant formatting on, off. Okay, update. Now we don't want to, I don't know which referencing style do you use mostly, Harvard?
Is it not APA?
Do you use APA? Okay, let's go back, and there's APA 7th style. That will automatically be on your list there. And it will change it then to the APA style there. If you scroll down then, you'll see that it started creating the bibliography automatically. And there is your information with your title, the way APA is required. I'm not sure, does your APA, yeah, do you do it indented like that? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So there's the APA style. So we can use the APA style. Now I'm going to scroll, type further. Now I'm going to go back. To me, it's easier to go to EndNote and work in the folder that I am. If I want to change to that one, I can easily. And I'm going to select Rosencrantz. So Rosencrantz, I hold my control button and I select the other one. So I'm going to do more than one author in that section. So now I go to the inverted commas again. I click on the inverted commas and it will add the two authors immediately for me. Can you see that how nice that is? So that makes it just so much easier. And at the end, it will give me alphabetical order automatically, my information as required. And I have got a neat bibliography. Sorry?
May you repeat that again, how you inserted two references at the same time in EndNote?
Okay, I'll do that. I will then go to that section there, and I'll go to EndNote. In my folder where I'm working, I will select it. The first one, I'll hold my control button on my keyboard and I will select the references. I'm going to select 3. See, they are highlighted. I go to the insert a citation. I click on that and it will insert the citation where my cursor was. And there are my 3 authors that I have now inserted.
Beautiful, thank you.
Isn't it wonderful? And it automatically then does everything for you. And at the end, it updates all your information as requested, as required, actually. So now if you can go to that, I'm not sure, you can edit the citation. There's more option there at the bottom. So if you click on the edit citation, right click, edit on the citation, you can put in page numbers. I don't know if APA do page numbers. I'm going to say 22 to 23. I'm going to say okay. And can you see there, it doesn't want to take 23 like that. It automatically corrects it to 23. And there are the page numbers included as well. So that is the way that you will add page numbers to a reference if you want to add page numbers to it. If you want to right click, and you'll see that the moment you actually click there, it highlights that reference and it actually then linked to your references and to your. So let's just look at the other features. So if you want to edit a citation and you want to exclude the author, you can do that. You can also display just author as here if you want to do that and you're writing something for you et al. Said blah, 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 blah. You can do it in that manner. Said, you see. So it all depends on what or as explained by, cannot type in that gray box though, as explained by Viljoen et al. And you can complete your sentence. So all of that can be done. At the moment, I've got Calibri 16 here. My bibliography is in Calibri 11 and it says bibliography. So it all depends on what you would like to do. You can also then go to here in this, EndNote. You can go into this square box where it says bibliography. You can click on that and it will open up the format bibliography. So we've got the APA style, and then we can click on the, next to that is a layout button. We can click on that. Now I think it was 20. I'm going to change my bibliography to look exactly the same as my text. And my supervisor prefer list of references. I can change the heading there. Okay, and it will change it so that it fits with your paper. So it's all in the same format and style. Can you see? That is actually such a nice, oh, it's not APA 20, it was Calibri 16. Let me just correct it because now it looks terrible, that big letters, 16. Okay, okay. And now my bibliography looks the same as the content. So this time, if it must be Arial, if this is Arial, you can change it to Arial as well. So if you click there and you go to layout again, you can choose all the different styles, fonts that you have available on that. If it must be Arial, you can change it to Arial. Say okay, and it will change it to Arial. Okay. Are there any questions on this Word document?
just wanted to echo on what you said earlier. Maybe when we have it installed in our computers, if we can have a practical session.
Yes, that helps.
Renee is still with us.
Yes. Sorry, you said.
I'm saying I believe staff from the university are still with us. Maybe just to have it practical. For us as a postgraduate, we can even come Saturdays also. Thank you.
Thank you. Rennie, do you want to say something?
Thank you so much, colleagues. Susan, I find myself without anything to say, but to really appreciate the lengths you've gone to take us through an introduction. It was a deep dive into EndNote. And I think, as indicated by colleagues around the table, I always believe the moment they have installed it and start playing around with it, they'll also then realize what they're struggling with. And if we need to have a follow-up conversation, it becomes easier based on, getting our fingers busy on the keyboard. But on behalf of the Namibia University of Science and Technology, I truly, truly want to appreciate the partnership. You have gone beyond being a service provider to becoming a partner for the university to ensure that we have the internal capacity to actually utilize this citation management system, so to say. So for that, I truly appreciate, and I speak on behalf of my own director, Professor Ofolu, who's not able to be with us at this point, as well as the executive director for the Directorate of Research, Innovation and Partnerships, and the offices thereafter. Otherwise, I'll end up speaking on behalf of the DVC and the VC. So I'll end at that level. And I really also want to extend my appreciation to Dr. Tertu Shiweda, because we would not have had access to you had her office not facilitated the license to be procured from your end. But thank you for partnering with us, and we will be keeping in touch with your good office for follow-up sessions. We will probably discuss the intervals. But clearly, it's been a long session, 2 hours, and we are still 58 people online. For me, it's an expression that this is relevant. And the moment everyone else gets wind of how today went, I think the follow-up sessions will even have an even higher demand. So thank you so much. And I truly appreciate the time, the insights, and the practical nature. Colleagues that are around the table that were asking whether internally we can continue with the process, we are also learning how to use EndNote. So this is part of the technical backstopping support that Susan and her colleagues will be providing to the university. It's part of the package that they've offered to ensure competency internally. The training is not only extended to students, but to our staff members, including our library staff, so that we have got more hands on deck to assist each other to navigate with EndNote and make the most out of it. But keep us informed. I see there is a survey that has been launched to reflect on how the session went. I would kindly implore everyone that is participating in our seminar to actually take the time to give your feedback. I think this will be useful not just to Susan, but her organization in seeing how the utility of this particular software can be enhanced, and it will also help her probably with future reflections as we are looking to engaging with the office more often. This is not a once-off activity, and not training will be happening throughout the course of 2024. So do make the most of this opportunity. Thank you so much. Susan, I was hoping the last minute or so, if you can also show your face. We do have a nice photograph, but online, I don't look like this when I post my photographs online.
Rennie, I'm so sorry, but unfortunately, for some reason, my camera is not working. And I've been struggling now for days to get the camera going. So I cannot show you my face, but next time I will show you my face.
Not a
And
problem.
I'm very sad about that because I would have loved you just to see me. But my husband actually comes from, we often visit Namibia. You've got a lovely country. And it's so nice to collaborate with you. So we're looking forward, and I really hope that the colleagues learned a lot and see that EndNote can really enhance their work and their make their research so much easier. And I also want to encourage them, if they work close with a librarian, to acknowledge them as a co-author when they publish. You see, I have been working with researchers and they acknowledged me, and it's so nice if the librarian is also acknowledged. So
Indeed, especially for those that are going to take a
yes,
deep dive in
thank you for the opportunity. Yes.
For those who are going to do their scoping studies, I think that's one good opportunity. It was also something that I experienced in other universities where you have got a lot of close interaction with the librarians. They help with the searches, and when the actual publication comes out, the librarians are acknowledged in the publications. But absolutely, I will not speak to that. I will leave that to the conversation between the supervisor and their students, lest I overstep.
Yes. But yeah,
but
but that is just a small, just a hint yeah, for them that they can remember to do that. Yeah.
Indeed, indeed. I see Dr. Tetu. Would you want to come
But
in?
Rennie,
Because
thank
she
you
is
so
the one
much for the
hosting us as
opportunity.
well. No, we are truly, truly humbled to have your for the dedicated time and support behind the scenes. The team present will never know just how hard you work behind the scenes for events like this to happen. You know, from the time you put your program together, sharing it with us so that we've got a smooth webinar, we really appreciate it.
Yes, I hope it contributed positively.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Dr. Tetu, over to you.
All right, thank you, Rennie. Thank you so much, Susan. As Rennie already mentioned, we are short of words of your support. Thank you very, very much with your team, and we look forward again to work together this all these coming years. Okay, colleagues, I don't have much to say. I just want to highlight again that the deployment, the back deployment of EndNote, I want to emphasize on access of EndNote at NAST. The back deployment of EndNote is been done, and for every computer at NAST, including the sender or regional senders or satellite campus, the deployment is done. The staff members would be able to get it through their computers. If you check on the menu of the apps in your computer, will be able to see the EndNote. And for students, we received the link this morning, and we are going to populate it, or we are going to link it on the website. It's going to be on the marketing slides of the library web page, so that it is going to be visible and everybody's going to see it. So how the link will work is that once you click on the link, it will take you to the zipped folder. And when you click on the zip folder, you'll be able to see the software. You click on the software, you download it, and you do the installation. And that is it. You are not going to be asked password or PIN because you are linked to the central server of the university. So that will be very soon available. Let me say maybe by tomorrow already. Please check the website. As Randy also said, please keep on checking the announcement. The accessible, the entire accessible to EndNote will be available soon. I think with that, unless there's any question for us here at the library, otherwise that was it from me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shiweda, for those insightful words and future directions for the university community. I see there's a hand from John. I hope it's your vote of thanks on behalf of the participants. John, please come through.
Rennie.
I just wanted to ask regarding the tuition fee for those. Since like I heard that we are going to do 3 modules again this coming semester, which is semester 2. But when I made a 10 at the admin, I was given the quotation, and the quotation indicates that only one subject, which is the research for next semester. And now I'm a bit confused because I thought if you or if the school will assist us with the full quotation so that at least our organizations will be able to meet us halfway in terms of payment. But then I was told I should contact the faculty officer, Mrs. Ferris, and I've been trying to reach her, but it seems like she's not in the office. Whenever I try to call, the number is saying.
John, may I kindly implore you to take the conversation with me outside of this particular platform, because this is very personal to your own studies and your situation. That way we do not hold up the rest of the team on a conversation that is not necessarily linked to the webinar for today. Is that okay? If we can have the conversation, you can look for my extension 2239. We can have the conversation offline, or you can write to my email, then we see how we best assist you.
Right. Your extension number.
Come again, John.
Hello. Yeah, I'm saying I would like you to repeat your extension number, man.
Okay, if you are using the NAS line, it's extension 2239. But better still, you can even just send an email. I have dropped my email within the chat box, and we can take the conversation outside of the webinar, if that is okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, I see Theodore. Is that your attempt at giving us a vote of thanks? Theodore, please come through.
Yes.
Please proceed.
Okay, maybe I can show my face as well. Oh,
Indeed.
I'm even in the office right now, but I just wanted to take a few seconds just to thank Ms. Susan. Thank you so much for your insight, because I'm currently doing my master's as well. And just the thought.
We have lost you, Rosie. I'm not sure what happened with the connection. Unless it's my connection with an issue. I just lost the audio completely from your side.
Okay, you hear?
Yes, now we can.
I was just saying, Ms. Susan, thank you so much for imparting your knowledge onto us. I'm currently also busy with my master's program, and I knew I could not miss this session, and it was worth every moment, every hour you spent with us. And I just wanted to say thank you so much. And I think you're going to be the reason I might do very well in my thesis. So thank you so much.
That's great news, Rosie. I hope so. I wish you well in your studies, hey?
And true to our culture colleagues, if we can have an online round of applause to just appreciate Ms. Susan Shippers, Dr. Shiweda, Dr. Tinashe, for all they have taken us through today and the insights we walk away with. I think we walk out more empowered than we were when we came in. A round of applause. Thank you, colleagues. The next workshop is going to be focusing on mastering research proposal writing, a workshop for masters and doctoral students, and it's also open to our staff members. It's going to be happening at the HTTPS building on the 11th of April, which is Thursday next week from 8:30 to 16:30. Inform your friends, inform your colleagues within the NAS University community. We are here to provide a service, and it's only going to be exciting if we have you in your numbers. It's a hybrid one for those who are not able to come in person, but as you realize, online can be texting to keep your energies up. So if you want to be physically present, do register for that particular workshop. See you next week, and to the rest of the colleagues, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, everybody, and good luck and goodbye.
Rennie,
Thank
Rennie.
you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes.
Thank you so much, Tertu.
Rennie?
Thank you so much, Rennie.
Thank you, colleagues. I see someone is calling me out. Please
Thank
come.
you.
Yes,
Goodbye.
yes. The last announcement.